Could you imagine a world where dogs can communicate with us and they could speak our language? That you could just tell Rover to potty outside and not on your Persian silk rug? Well, does your dog speak English? No, neither does mine. It is up to us to teach and to let our dogs know what we expect of them. After listening to my speech, you will have some basic methods for training your dog. Teaching your dog through positive training methods leads to a solid bond and happy lives between you and your dog. First, I will explain the most common and well known technique for training your dog, which is positive reinforcement. Animals tend to repeat behaviors that are followed by positive consequences and tend to avoid behaviors that bring negative consequences, was the conclusion of research by psychologist B.F. Skinner in shaping contemporary behavioralism. For example, if your dog loves chicken and you give him a bite of chicken every time he sits, you will increase the likelihood that the dog will sit again. So you will need some treats. It could be a piece of chicken, cheese, or any of these treats that my dog enjoys from any pet store. Dogs also respond heavily on praise. Since ultimately you are their master, they seek to make you happy and they like to receive acknowledgement that they did so. It could be an overly exaggerated good or yes, any of those are good. Okay, so now that we know how to reward our dog with good behavior, let's give it a try. So say you're trying to teach your dog to sit. First, you want to introduce the motion of sitting by using a treat of luring your dog into the sit position. Once they do so, treat and praise them. Keep repeating it numerous of times until your dog does it completely fine without any issues. Then start introducing the command with lots of praise. Yes, good sit. And reward with a treat. Keep repeating it over and over, then eventually your dog will associate the motion with not only a verbal command, but a hand signal as well. Also note that repeating the command multiple times is not helping your dog. Instead, it's just confusing them. By standing over your dog and repeatedly saying, sit, 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 it's not learning a command, but rather thinks it has to sit after you say it multiple times. This is how you focus on training basic commands. If you also want to train your dog overall good behavior, the Idiot's Guide Puppies book recommends clicker training. So a clicker like this is a device that makes a distinct noise when the button is pushed. Once a dog understands clicker training, he knows the clicker marks a behavior and he is going to get rewarded for doing that behavior. The clicker is highly effective because dogs have a very narrow association window. I personally find a clicker extremely effective and I like to use it throughout the day. In fact, I have it with me at all times. It allows you to continuously reward good behavior when you didn't give your dog a command at all. So, for instance, whenever you're with your dog and they check in with you by making eye contact, you click. Or going back to the treat reward training with the sit command I mentioned earlier, whenever they perform a sit, you click and treat. Even more, clickers allow you to correct negative behaviors. Who has ever had a puppy that whines when they're in the car or a dog that barks at the doorbell? With the help of a clicker, whenever your dog stops the unwanted behavior of, say, barking at the door, even for a second, you can click and reward and say, yes, good, quiet. As you continually do that, time after time, your dog will learn that being quiet is more rewarding. It's the more rewarding choice. The use of a clicker has endless possibilities. Now that I've explained two key components of successfully training a dog, let's review what we've covered. First off, we use positive reinforcement training through the use of treats to teach simple commands, clicker training to encourage everyday good behavior expectations. So remember when training your dog to come prepared with lots of tasty treats and to buy a clicker. Thank you for listening to my informative speech of how to train your dog.